fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Caught you. What are you looking at?
Trias.
I'm here in the backstage. This is the backstory here. I'm here in the backstage, and I'm watching Sheldon switch from chart to chart, jumping from chart to chart, and then I see his eyes light up. And this is the chart that he's looking at. What is this chart, Sheldon?
Trias, buddy. Trias. Freddy Freds from our Jimmy, sorry. Freddy. Yeah, Trias, guys. Trias, we got a killer entry. And I see as much as the market's sort of an up and down choppy market today, playing in a bit of a range, Trias is absolutely exploding. So this is looking good.
Okay,
I think we only just got going.
Looking at Bitcoin. I thought you were looking at Bitcoin. Okay, before we...
I wish this was the Bitcoin chart. I wish.
Now let's start the show properly, because I just caught you in the waiting room there. Caught him. Welcome back, guys. So we're back. The market is bullish again. Bitcoin. Still at 46,361. Slight recovery from this morning. But it's all about altcoins. This season is actually being led by altcoins, and it's not all altcoins. It's a very select number of altcoins and a very select formula around those altcoins. So what I want to do today is I want to look at the formula that is driving these altcoins. Because if we know the formula that's driving the altcoins, then we can identify the next altcoins which are going to run. And that's what we're going to look at today. What we know for sure, though, is that this market is being driven by altcoins. This recovery is not a Bitcoin recovery. So welcome back. Welcome back to CryptoBanter.com. If you're new to our channel, welcome to our channel. Welcome to the most profitable family reality show in the world. As I said before, this is not a crypto show. This is a reality show. We just, you know everyone in the office. You kind of know Fred. You know Jimmy. You know Sheldon. You know Mama Sniper. And we're a family. And we share the wealth with our family. And speaking of sharing the wealth with our family, you want a good reason to... did you just take off your shoes? Why do we have to go through this? I mean, bring your shoe here. I don't understand why. This is Fred's shoe. All right, put it somewhere else. Put it in another room. Put it in a completely different room. It's bad, eh? It's afternoon. All right, so lots of reasons to subscribe to our channel and also to subscribe to our new channel, Microdose. Here's the deal. If you subscribe to Microdose in the description below, it's the first line in the description below, and you subscribe to Crypto Banter, and you like this content, and you share this content, you win. And you win free money. And you guys thought I was joking earlier when I said to you that I have tokens for you in this new project called Polylauncher, which is a launch pad, which is only for metaverse tokens. Remember I said that? And I said I'm going to give away Polylauncher, and it's a project which is being listed today. And I said to you, even though we pay 2.5 or 2.7 cents for these tokens, you're going to get $100 worth of tokens at 2.7 cents. What are those tokens actually worth? Let's have a look. So right now, that $100 is worth at 17 cents. So it's about 5x. That $100 is now worth 5x. Now there's a bit of vesting, but so the winners here get actually $500. If you want, so the guys that won earlier on get $500 at the price of now. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. I can't believe it. And I think it's only just started. So subscribe to our channel, because we're going to be giving away lots of these tokens. In fact, now we're going to be giving away about $25,000 worth of these tokens. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Also, we're still giving away Star Terra tokens. We still have Star Terra tokens. That's the launch pad on Luna. We're still giving away $100. Rajat Wadha. He wins. The man wins. Give the man 100 star terror. $100 of star terror. Come on, guys, smash the like, subscribe to our channel. Let's get the people into this show. I see a guy called CJ Nis. You see CJ Nis? CJ Nis, you get yourself, get this. You get yourself $100 worth of Poly Launcher at about 2.7 cents, which means that right now that $100 is worth $500 or $600. Which other show in the world gives you this? Speaking of other shows in the world, on Friday, we do have our biggest show. We do have our biggest show on Friday. And I think it's actually the biggest show ever done in crypto. I don't actually even think that it's the biggest show that we've ever done, but I think it's the biggest show ever done in crypto, ever. On one show, we have Raul Paul, we have Scaramucci, we have Mr. Wonderful, and we have Peter Schiff on one show. That's going to be the biggest show, I think, ever in crypto, and it's hosted right here on cryptobanter.com. All right, before we get into the formula, and I want to teach you guys a formula today of how to identify these altcoin runs and to understand why certain altcoins are running while other altcoins aren't running. Before we do that, let's go to Sheldon and look at the charts because we want to keep you guys updated all the time. Sheldon, since the morning show, has anything happened?
Just the alts, buddy. So obviously having a look, the dominance has still been falling quite a bit. So if we have a look, dominance has still been continuing down. So meaning that, Bitcoin's playing in a sideways range and we're getting the random alt pops. And we can see obviously how the alts are really starting to break out. And I was also having a look.
Sorry, that was me checking on the subscribers on macros. Fred, your shoes, bro. Can we get your shoes out of the room here, man?
But I was having a look as well. ETH to the BTC. So definitely the love is still sitting with the alts. And obviously looking at our leading indicator, we're at a point now where we're starting to form this wedge. There we go. You can see it there clear, and we had a beautiful bounce. So if things continue, Bitcoin holds its ground, holds at least 45 anywhere in that zone, and that dominance keeps falling, we're still going to have the alts going insane. So I think it's nearly time for a big, decent pullback for majority of the major alts. I think there's just a few more that still have to go, unless Bitcoin does what it needs to do.
So I'm looking at a few clues. I'm looking at a few clues here. The first clue that I'm looking at is we've had 4 green weeks in a row. We're now in the 5th week, and you can see that it's a bit red, but we've had 4 green weeks in a row. The second indicator that I'm looking at, which makes me think that there may be a little bit of a correction ahead, very small correction, is the greed indicator. We don't want this market to get frothy. We don't want this market to get frothy like the last market. And so I think that if we carry on going up, and if we have another 2 or 3 weeks of up, we put ourselves in a position where we start feeling like this, and this worries me. So the last time
it's getting too easy. When it gets too easy, is a big time to be ready.
Yeah. So I mean, look here. This here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you see, every time we've had, and then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it does feel like we've run a little bit too fast. We don't want to run any faster than that. We don't want the leveraged, weak retail hands to come back into the market. And so I think if we did see a little bit of a pullback on Bitcoin, it would be a little bit healthy.
I would love to say we're sitting in an area like this, where there's not much pullbacks until Bitcoin. The only reason we're not pulling back is maybe the high's not in just yet. And that's the only reason we'd hold up. So I would love to think we're in a position at this point over here. But yeah, at any point we have the strong acceleration up. There is at any point a little pullback in the market. But I don't know. Let's see.
Okay, so you think market going up or market going down? Just one word.
How can you do that? I'm still bullish for now. If Bitcoin goes below 45, then decent 10-20% pullback.
Sheldon, show me the Bitcoin dominance chart. And after that, I want you to show me your cap, because I want you to show the guys the insane new Crypto Banter merchandise that is coming out.
Loving it. There we go. So we can see the dominance is completely, since we've broken that support, we are still trading down strong. We have now dropped this recent last sort of support that we have, and we obviously got these lower levels at 41 and down to 39. So
what we are seeing is that this recovery is actually being led by alts. It's not being led by Bitcoin. That is what we need to look at. And
Brad, I'm telling you this time, I have a feeling the alt season's going to happen first and Bitcoin's going to finish off this run.
There you go.
I still feel it.
That is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Sheldon, take off your cap and show the guys how insane the new crypto Banter merchandise looks. So that's the Ethereum one. And then as you see on the side is like that little subtle crypto Banter logo. How cool is that? We're going to start giving those away very, very soon. How much honor. How much honor. Are the shoes here yet?
Say again?
Are the shoes here yet?
Yeah, they are.
Guys, look at these shoes.
Have a look. It's a
How
custom-made
cool.
shoes.
Custom
How amazing,
made.
Ran. You know, this community is absolutely, this just arrived in a present today from our artist Frizzo, and a big shout out to him. Thank you very much.
So we're going to be making a whole lot of those sniper. Hold them up again. They look incredible. I mean, we're going to be making a whole lot of these sniper Nikes for the community.
Nikes. Yeah, they look absolutely
They
amazing.
are insane. Are the Bitcoin ones here or only the sniper ones?
No. The Bitcoin's at home. I'll bring them.
Okay. Those are so insane. I love this community. You guys made them, not us. We didn't design them. They were designed by you guys in the community because that's what the family is all about. All right, so we have had 4 up weeks for Bitcoin in a row. We have the fear and greed index. A little bit worrying. Not worrying, I'm just worried this market may be running a little bit too fast, too quickly. You have alts driving the recovery. And then you look at the grayscale premium. And the grayscale premium kind of shows that institutions have stopped buying the grayscale product. So we don't have that savage demand for the institutional product. But at the same time, Bitcoin is actually maintaining its price. So there could be some weakness ahead. But if it is weakness ahead, we're very much convinced that this weakness is actually weakness in an absolute bull market and probably not a dead cat bounce or a market or a dead cat bounce. I was following Lark earlier, and he made this tweet which caught my attention, and he said, "This is either a bear market relief rally or a bull market disbelief phase where the market will totally explode in the coming months. Also worth noting, at no point in this entire market did we reach euphoria and greed levels." And to me, that's exactly my synopsis. I think that we are in the bull market disbelief phase. And in this bull market disbelief phase, what generally happens is the market doesn't believe that we're going to go up. So every time that we get a slight pullback, the market starts to panic a little bit and then creates some great buying opportunities. And that's really what I think. If we do get a pullback now, that is one of the best market opportunities. There are other traders out there. I found a trader out there. I have to show you guys this. His name is Trader J. And he says, when Bitcoin will crash, don't be surprised. And he shows the Bitcoin chart. I want to show it to you. He shows the Bitcoin chart. And then he shows this Wyckoff redistribution pattern. And I'm actually going to zoom out to show you what it looks like. But I mean, it does look pretty similar. I won't lie to you. It does look pretty similar. A textbook case of a Wyckoff redistribution. So there are theories on both sides. I'm on the side that we are. Someone says I'm blurry. Guys, am I blurry? If I'm blurry, just let us know in the comments and I'll restart. Am I blurry, Fred? Okay, if I'm blurry, let me know. Oh, okay. We will talk about this later. This is we need to talk about that. That's something that we need to talk about. So there are theories on both sides of the market. There are theories on the one side of the market that say that, this is a bull market, quick bull market correction. And then some people are saying that, look, this may be a dead cat bounce in an absolute bear market. I don't believe that. I believe that we're in a bull market and that this bull market is very, very, very different to any other bull market recovery that we've ever seen. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to show you why certain coins are running in this recovery. There have been a lot of theories that we are in a 2013 type recovery. And if you think about what 2013 was a little jump. And then what happened after that was we had a massive, massive, massive run. And I actually want to show you what this massive run looked like, just to give you some perspective. Let's go back to 2013. So 2013 looked something like that. You had a massive run, you had a correction, and then you had a consolidation, and then you had a run which made the first run look like it was like child's play. And that's what everyone is comparing this recovery to. But to me, there is a big difference between 2013 and 2021. And the big difference here is that in 2013, the market recovery was led by Bitcoin. In fact, the only token out there that was worth anything was Bitcoin. Today, we're seeing something that is very, 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 very different. On the one hand, this market recovery is being led by Bitcoin and being led by a whole lot of altcoins. Bitcoin started the market recovery, but it's actually altcoins that are carrying the market right now. If you think about the tokens that have run, it's tokens like Solana, tokens like Luna. Let's have a look at them just so we can get a feel for how much these tokens have actually run. You're looking at Solana. Let's have a look at it. Solana, in the last 30 days, I think has more than quadrupled. So in the last 30 days, Solana was $23, and now Solana is at about $67, so almost quadrupled. You've got Luna, which has driven this recovery. And the Luna price was at about $5, and I think now Luna is at about $25. So Luna is 5x in the last 30 days. You've got Axie Infinity. And Axie Infinity has, in the last 30 days,
it's 1,000x today from seed.
So today, Axie Infinity is 1,000x from its seed price. If you were a seed investor, you would have made 1,000x. You're looking at Axie Infinity in the last 30 days has gone from $14 to actually a high now of $80. So what you're seeing is that this market is actually not being, the market recovery, which was sparked off by Bitcoin, is actually being driven by altcoins. And it's not any altcoins. It's certain altcoins which have led a recovery rally. And when I say altcoins, I'm not talking about Ethereum. I'm talking about real altcoins. I'm talking about Axie, Solana, Luna, not Ethereum. I kind of see Ethereum not as an altcoin anymore. I kind of see it like the second Bitcoin or a major coin and not really as an altcoin. So this recovery is being built on a certain narrative. And that narrative is exploding right before our eyes. And it's very different from 2013 and 2017. Because in 2013 and 2017, when the market recovered, it was Bitcoin that led the recovery and drove the recovery very far into the bull cycle. And all the recovery was based on the hope of the future. If you go back to 2017, Bitcoin had very little adoption and Ethereum had almost no adoption, but the hope and the prayer that one day certain experiments were going to work on it. And on Bitcoin, well, we didn't have the money printing and everything else. We had this hope that one day Bitcoin would be either a money or a store of value. But this recovery is completely different. This recovery is being built on a different narrative, and that narrative is the narrative of mass adoption. Because we're at a point now where the market is recovering because mass adoption is taking place right before our eyes. And it's taking place not only on Bitcoin, it's taking place on Bitcoin and a whole lot of other protocols. And it's happening way quicker than anyone, any Bitcoin maximist, any crypto enthusiast could ever imagine. I know we played the video of Raoul Paul the other day. I want to play it again for you guys, just so you understand the rate at which Bitcoin is recovering at the moment, or mass adoption is taking place at the moment.
The internet was growing at 63% a year from 1990 to 2000.
Right.
Right now, and that in 1997, the internet had 140 million users, which is exactly where we are with crypto right now. Crypto is currently growing at 113%. So the internet was the fastest adoption of any technology in all recorded human history. Right. Crypto is twice the speed of adoption of the fastest ever recorded technology in all human history. We get to 1 billion people by 2024. That's exponentiality, my friend. We can't get our heads around how does 140 equal that, but that's what it does. I think by 3 years, we'll have broken the back of it, meaning the tide will have moved. Now we've seen the early adopters, that's clear. We're all celebrating those victories, but then it's just going to become regular that we hear this. So we'll have broken the back of the momentum. And by about 5 years, 5-6 years, it'll be expected, and you'll have to be answering to your trustees or your board why you've not used crypto.
So we're seeing adoption, and we're seeing adoption of Bitcoin. We're seeing institutions buy Bitcoin, and we're seeing retail investors buy Bitcoin. And we've never seen a phenomenon like this before, where institutions on the one side are gobbling up as much Bitcoin as they can to put on their balance sheets. And on the other side, we have the retail investors. So people holding under 10 Bitcoin is growing like a hockey stick. And that's the pink line over there. You see the pink line? That shows the growth of accounts between 0 and 10 Bitcoin into it. And we can see that these guys are growing in a huge way. So we have a we're in the middle of a Bitcoin mass adoption cycle. But that's not the only mass adoption cycle that's happening right now. There are 4 other mass adoption cycles that are happening. One is institutions are looking to buy ETH. And they're looking to buy ETH as a store of value and because they believe in the power of the network. At the same time, you have video game NFT adoption. And video game NFT adoption has taken the world by absolute storm. In fact, it's bringing so many new people into blockchain without actually letting them realize that they're getting into blockchain. It's the epitome of brilliant mass adoption. That's happening right now. The other thing that's happening right now can be seen at ultrasound.money. And this is the website that shows you how many Ethereum are being burnt. And so far, 56,252 ETH have been burnt. The sites that are burning them: OpenSea, Uniswap, Tether, Axie Infinity. Uniswap, MetaMask. What is that saying to us? It's showing us that the drivers for this mass adoption are DeFi and NFTs. And DeFi and NFTs are two of the narratives, or two of the experiments that have worked on Ethereum and worked on some other side chains. And they are driving this huge mass adoption narrative. And so we're getting this market recovery, which is growing on this narrative of mass adoption. It's not a narrative of something that may happen in the future. It's a narrative of something that is happening right now before our eyes. You're having mass adoption, because you're having the price go up because of mass adoption of this technology. And the mass adoption is happening much quicker than we could ever imagine. And it's happening on many fronts. It's happening on Bitcoin on the one side, NFTs on the other side, DeFi in the third side, and all of those are completely different users. The Bitcoin person who's buying Bitcoin as a store of value is completely different to the NFT user, who is completely different to the DeFi user. So it's almost like you're getting attacked on all three fronts to get mass adoption. And that's the beauty of this recovery. And I think because this recovery is happening on all these fronts, we're now at a point where Bitcoin has lost its dominance, or is going to lose its dominance. I think over time, the Bitcoin dominance is going to go down because Bitcoin is less important in the crypto ecosystem. I think Ethereum is now becoming as important, if not more important, than Bitcoin. I think NFTs are becoming as important, if not more important, than Bitcoin. I think that within 12 months and maybe 24 months, there'll be more NFT users in the world than there will be Bitcoin users. I mean, that's a big statement. There are 140 million Bitcoin users. I think that within 2 years, there will be more NFT users than there will be Bitcoin users. And what that means is that the recovery, this is a very key recovery in the history of cryptocurrency, because it shows that even though Bitcoin led the recovery is actually going to be led by alts. And it's going to be led only by certain alts. Alts that drive NFTs, alts that drive DeFi, and alts that drive any other experiment which may get to mass adoption. Because this recovery is all about, as I said, mass adoption. That's what's going on here. So let's look at the tokens that have recovered, and let's look at why they have recovered. Why have NFTs recovered? Why did NFTs lead this recovery? Well, it's simple. Have a look at this. That is the actual NFT market marketplace trading volume. Remember when we thought in February and March that we had seen the peak of NFTs and they went into April and had a slight correction? That pales in comparison to where we are in August. And of course, the biggest marketplace is OpenSea. And that's incomplete monthly data because this chart over here is halfway through August. It's not even like the whole month. It's the 17th of August today. I mean, just understand how quickly this mass adoption is happening in crypto. And then that's the one side of mass adoption. And then we spoke about the Bitcoin mass adoption, which was that tweet from Will Clemente. Let's look at the DeFi mass adoption because I think there's a lot of clues here. There are a lot of clues here. There's amazing clues here as to which protocols may run and why they're running. So Ryan Watkins says, global TVL, total value locked in DeFi, just reached $148 billion and is approaching all-time highs. Okay, that's what it's currently doing. Who's winning? Ethereum, Terra, and Solana. Now, this is different from what we spoke about 3 months ago. 3 months ago, it was only Ethereum, and there was a little bit of Binance Smart Chain. But in the last 3 months, because of mass adoption, you now have Solana and Terra. You also have Solana playing in NFTs, which gives you a clue that Solana may be the next Ethereum. It's going to be a race between Ethereum, Cardano, and Solana. Those are, for me, the three winners in smart chains. First of all, TVL is not a perfect measure of adoption, but what it does show is how much value people are entrusting to smart contracts. And $148 billion is no joke. This number continuing to increase suggests increasing comfortability in trusting wealth to code. People are starting to trust code more than they trust governments. And that is super important. Who are the leaders in this industry? This is a cool tweet. It says, Ethereum, Terra, which nobody spoke about Terra 3 months ago, Solana, and Fantom. All are either close to or have made all-time highs in their TVL. Ethereum, we know Ethereum's made all-time highs. The Ethereum ecosystem is rich and diverse. There's no single driver behind it. But Aave, Curve, etc. You can see Ethereum has nearly reached its all-time high. Number two. Who is number two? Surprise. It's Terra, Luna. This is the ecosystem that we've been talking to you guys about, and it's just started. If you look at the Terra ecosystem, it has $5 billion in total value locked. Luna bouncing 5 times off the bottom has certainly helped the TVL recovery because some of the total value locked is in because the price of Luna went up. But you can see that there's a whole lot of protocols, Anchor Protocol, Mirror Protocol, Spectrum Protocol, Pylon Protocol, Lido Protocol, which all have total value locked. And right now, if you know how to stake on Luna, which is something that you better start learning, you can make huge money. In fact, it's the most money that you can make in blockchain right now. Listen to this. I really think that Luna is just getting started. This is a tweet from Colin T. Crypto. Why? Ethereum users can get 37% on their ETH by wrapping it and putting it onto the Terra network. So you can take your Ethereum, you can stake them on the Luna network, and you can make a 38% or 37% return on your Ethereum. This will continue to drive the minting of massive amounts of UST. And when you mint UST, you remove Luna from circulation. Go to Elio Trades as Twitter and learn how to do this because you can get 37% APY on your ETH. And the best thing is that when you do this, you burn more Luna because you're creating more Terra. So you're supporting the ecosystem and you're getting 37% on your ETH. That is why it is flying. Let's go back to Ryan's tweet. Okay, the next one in DeFi is Solana. There's $2 billion in Solana, and you can see that that's made up by a whole lot of different protocols, which is great. More lively protocols on the network. And the last one, which is, in my mind, a sitting duck. It's the market hasn't woken up to it, and that is Fantom. So Fantom has 400 million in total value locked. Don't discount Fantom. It is the last of the big protocols that hasn't yet run, and that's why I like this tweet so much. Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, and Polygon, they're all there, but they're losing their prominence. I do think that Polygon is is the one that's probably going to explode next. So that's the DeFi narrative. That's the DeFi narrative that's exploding. So we've had the NFT narrative, and then we get the DeFi narrative. And what that shows us is it shows us a commonality between in choosing the tokens that are going to be running. Because if you look at it, all these tokens that are going to be running kind of follow the same cycle. What is that cycle? Well, the first part of the cycle is looking at the market cycle. So the first thing you want to look at is you want to look at the market cycle. Let me get you guys a little chart. Is it up? Because I can't see it. There we go. All right, so what do you want to be looking at? You want to be looking at the market cycle. Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Is the market going up? Is the market going down? Then you want to be looking at the trend. What is the trend? What are people looking at? We've said that right now people are looking at DeFi and NFT. So once you've looked at the market cycle and convinced yourself that it's either large cap alts, Ethereum time, small cap alts, bull market territory, then you want to be looking at what are the trends that are going to be running. Is the trend NFTs? Is the trend DeFi? Is the trend Web3? And we're going to talk about Web3 later in the show today. Pick your trend. Once you've identified where you are in the market cycle and you've picked the trend, then you move on to the next part of your token selection, which says select a chain. What chain? And then select your token. So you always follow the four things. You follow market cycle. What part of the market cycle are we in? Then we look at the trend. What is the trend? Is it NFTs? Is it DeFi? What is it? Then we look at which ecosystem. Is it Cardano? Is it Ethereum? Is it Solana? And then we look at actual projects. And the idea is to identify projects on the ecosystem that you like, on the trend that you like, in a market cycle that you like. So I'll dumb it down for you. If you think the market is going to continue to go up, and you think that we're getting into large cap alt season, and you also think that NFTs and DeFi are the latest trends, then the chains that are going to win, if it's DeFi, are Solana, Luna, Polygon, Arweave, and then you go down to a project level. Because what you'll realize is that when an ecosystem runs, the projects run. Remember last week when Cardano ran, Charlie 3 ran, Giro ran. Let's quickly look at all the other ones that ran last week. So we know that I'm just showing an example where we had Solana running, or we had Cardano running last week, and let's look at what happened to Charlie 3. Remember, so there we go, Charlie 3, it's down today, but let's look at it in the last 30 days. It went all the way up to $4, and it came down. Now, I bet you that if I go and look at Cardano, Cardano is also down today. Let's have a look at Cardano. Cardano will have exactly the same chart. There we go. And you can see that the chart is actually exactly the same in the last 30 days. It went down and it went up and it's starting to come down. So what you can see is that the formula actually there is actually a formula behind this. You identify the narrative, you identify the market cycle, you identify the trend in the market cycle, you look at which ecosystems are going to perform, and then you look at the tokens on those ecosystems. So if you see a project that's running hard, go back and look at it at the chain. If you see Axie Infinity running hard, go back and look at Ethereum. If you see a Anchor protocol running hard, go quickly back and look at Luna. If you see an ecosystem running, if you see Luna running, go and look at what's happening to the projects on that ecosystem. Identify the projects that haven't run yet. So if you see Luna running and you see Anchor protocol not running, go and buy Anchor protocol. Identify the trend, identify the narrative, the market cycle, identify the trend, identify the ecosystems of the chains, and then identify the projects. It's the easiest way to make money. If you see a trend, an NFT trend, go back and look at the projects. Which NFT projects haven't run? And you'll pick up a whole lot of gems. Last week, I picked up Infinity Chain. I picked up Superfarm because I realized that gaming tokens were running, but Superfarm hadn't run as much as everybody else. And that's why I bought myself some Superfarm. You've got to work with this formula. I've got to teach you guys how to fish for yourselves. It's not about listening to us and doing what we say. It's about giving you the knowledge to do this for yourselves. And if you understand the market cycle and you say to yourself, okay, the trend is going to be something, then let me look at the chains or the ecosystems which are going to benefit the most, invest in the ecosystem and invest in projects. Right now, Luna is so hot that if you can get your hands onto any Luna pre-IDO project, go wild, because you'll make money, because the narrative is hot, because anything on Luna is hot. And speaking of anything on Luna being hot, let us give away some Luna Launchpad tokens, because that's what we do around here. So let's just give away, trying to give away hundreds and hundreds of dollars to people in the community. Trying to give away hundreds of dollars, hundreds of dollars. Okay, Maven, you win $100. ZC Gaming Time, you win $100. Let's go more. Oh, you see, now they all want poly. You know why they all want poly? Daniel Carey, you win $100. Let's quickly look at that. Let's look at it. Let me quickly call up that chart for you. There it is. Let's see what those poly launcher tokens are worth. 21 cents, 10x your money, baby. Almost 10x your money, 9x. Sorry, 8x, 8 times your money. Which means if we give you $100 of poly launcher, you're actually getting $1,000 or $800. I mean, that's serious. That is serious money. That is serious money. That is serious money. Okay, Margaret Fort, bang, you win yourself $100 of poly launcher at pre-market allocation. $100, which is now worth $800. Much poly, much honor, you win. Who was that? Edward Jackson. Edward Jackson wins, and Dre Chris wins. Great, Dre Chris 23. You win $100 each, which is now worth, as the price is right now, $800. 800. Bro, we've given away like $5,000 on the show. Fred, you win yourself $100 worth of. No, you can't win because you're an employee. You can't win. You can't win. Okay, we got Nirav Chowdhury. You get yourself $100 of poly launcher, which is worth $800 as we currently stand. Jason Gauchi, much honor to you. You win yourself $100, which is now worth $800. Let's get into the super chats. These are all like, please pick me. No, we can't pick you because you paid so much money. All right. So you get what I'm trying to explain to you here. If you want to do this on your own, it's so simple. You just follow this little cheat sheet, which I'm going to leave on my Twitter and I'm going to leave on the Instagram. Go to the Instagram account. We'll actually give away some poly launches on the Instagram. So go to the Crypto Banter Instagram. I'm going to give away 5 poly launcher $100 on the Instagram, where I'm going to leave this. You identify the market cycle, bull or bear cycle. You identify the trend, NFT, Web3, DeFi. And if NFT, Web3, or DeFi run, what are the chains or the ecosystems that are going to run? And then what are the projects that are going to run there? And if a project runs, go look at the chain. If a chain runs, go and look at the narrative. And then you'll understand how it works. All right, now we do have one narrative that hasn't had a run for a while and probably is due a run at some time, and that is the narrative which they call Web3. And Web3 is effectively about recreating the internet using decentralized protocols. So it's taking all these amazing applications that you have on the internet today, like Dropbox, like Google, like GoDaddy, like everything that's available on the internet, and moving it to the decentralized web. So if you think about it, like Dropbox, which is a centralized store of files, is similar to Filecoin. And Filecoin is disrupting people like Dropbox. And so every part of Web2, the old internet, is now being disrupted by Web3. Now, yesterday I spoke about a token. I spoke about a token called Akash. And a lot of you started to inbox us and say, what is Akash? You haven't spoken about it before. Tell us what it's about. So what I thought I'd do is I'd get the founder of Akash, who I think is here. I think it's Greg. Is Greg coming on today?
He's in the waiting room.
He's in the waiting room. Hey, welcome.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Not too bad.
So yesterday was the first time in a long time that I spoke about Akash, and I put it onto our high-risk portfolio. And I said to anybody, if you want to get into a high-risk portfolio, Akash is kind of like halfway in the high risk. It's not very high risk, but it's not a low-risk token. And what Akash is actually doing is it's part of the Web3 disruption. So maybe you want to just walk our audience through exactly what Akash is and how much traction you guys have got.
Yeah, Akash is essentially, in simplest terms, it's a peer-to-peer market for cloud computing. So essentially, today you have the cloud, that's really controlled by 4 companies: Amazon, Google, Microsoft, while you have majority of the supply that's not controlled by these 4 companies. About 8.4 million data centers, hosting the majority of the compute supply, right? And what Akash does is it takes this compute supply, 85% of which is not used, and makes it available in a marketplace in a very easy to use, a developer first environment. And the outcome is, well, you have an open system, but also the free market at play when it comes to cost, when it comes to usability and whatnot. So today on Akash, on average, you can save users pay up to like 1/3 what they would pay on Amazon to get the same efficacy on Akash. So it's a very powerful, free and open cloud alternative to Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Alibaba. Adoption has been great. We've been doubling the number of applications coming online every month. We are 5 months into the launch.
Let's slow down a bit. So again, this is not decentralized file storage, because I think people, when they think about Alibaba and they think about Amazon, they think about storing your files on Amazon. This is not decentralized file storage. This is actual computing power that you need to perform tasks on a computer, right?
Correct. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, 2 days ago, Board Ape Academy, I believe, launched on Solana. And they were using Arweave to store their assets and Solana to do the actual smart contracts. But they were using a centralized service that completely fails, to process that storage to present into the web browser, right? You need something in the middle. That's where Akash comes into play. We actually have a challenge going on to actually decentralize and scale something like Bored Ape. So Arweave can do the storage of the assets, Akash can do the compute, Solana can do the smart contracts, and thereby you have a fully decentralized stack. So Akash is a compute layer that connects the storage and the web browser and does the middleware and processing.
In the traditional world, when do people outsource their computing? Because my computer works pretty fine just using my computer. When do companies outsource their computing power?
Well, so your computer is great, right? You can actually host a website from your computer, but the chances of your computer staying online and having that bandwidth and having the ability to load is not as great as a computer that's dedicated and sitting somewhere in a data center. So when you want something more reliable than a home computer, you tend to use a computer that's sitting in a data center that's dedicated for that purpose.
So Akash, what you got done is you've said, look, anybody who has some spare computing power can join the Akash network in a decentralized way. You can give your computing power to this network, to anybody who needs to use it, and you're going to get rewarded with Akash tokens.
Correct.
And as a result, you've got much more uptime, and it's much cheaper because you're using excess capacity as opposed to having to buy and pay for the capacity, right?
Correct. It's a lot more reliant than Amazon. I mean, I can say that with confidence because we launched Akash in March, and during the last 5 months, Amazon, I believe, went down 2 times, and Akash never went down once. So.
Well, it can't go down. By definition, Akash can't go down because it's decentralized, right?
Correct. It runs on a blockchain, so the access is never, it's always online and permissionless. Anyone can use it. No one can stop you from using it. Even I can't.
So for the viewers here who are non-technical, could I break it down and say that every computer is actually made up of storage and computing power? And that's really what a computer is about.
Yes.
The decentralized storage is things like Filecoin and Arweave. Now, those are getting amazing traction. If you look at what Filecoin is doing and what Arweave is doing, that part of the decentralized web is getting great traction. A lot of the decentralized applications are starting to build on these platforms for decentralized file storage.
Yep.
When it comes to decentralized computing power, right now, the people are using centralized computing power. So actually, whereas you think that you got this whole decentralized system, you actually don't, because you're using centralized providers for the computing power today.
Correct. Correct. I mean, people are slowly starting to realize Graph, for example, is decentralized compute, but they are a higher level protocol. They provide GraphQL capabilities. Live Peer is, again, another decentralized compute play, but they do video streaming. Similar to Graph and Live Peer, Akash does decentralized compute but for any API. You can put any custom API. So that's a big difference between Graph, Live Peer, and Akash. So decentralized computing is catching on. Slowly but surely, and we are seeing some examples like failed launch of Bored Ape that could use something like Akash to scale, things like that. That becomes more obvious in the future. I think you're going to see a lot more adoption, and we're kind of seeing a lot more adoption anywhere right now. We're doubling in applications, right? So that's going to actually go increase. Yeah.
The reason why all these protocols have worked is because they've had that light switch moment where people have gone, "Wow, DeFi works. Poof. Wow, NFTs work." When is that moment? And we're now seeing that moment for decentralized file storage, because now people are realizing, hold on, Arweave is actually the catalyst, not Filecoin. The reason why people have gone to Arweave is because it's decentralized file storage forever, which nobody else does. And now people are saying, if I'm buying this NFT, I want the NFT to live forever. I want it stored on Arweave. That's why it's working. When is that light switch moment going to happen for decentralized computing? Because it feels to me like we've been talking about it for a long time, but we haven't had that moment where companies start mass adopting decentralized computing.
Yes. So good question. I mean, you got to put things into perspective. Akash is the first viable decentralized cloud that's actually functioning and growing, right? There hasn't been a platform like Akash. We're the first in the category. So it's just 5 months down the line, right? So we're getting adoption, but not the exponential adoption, at least from the crypto narrative. We're getting great adoption from the mainstream narrative. But from a crypto narrative, I think DAOs, for example, if you look at a DAO is essentially a set of protocols that and set of applications that all sort of help people to make decisions. Like you have forums like Discord, you have Discourse, you have websites DAOs host, right? You have all these amazing like applications people host. But guess what? These applications are centralized. So what that means is if someone needs to update this application, they need to pick a person in the DAO, and that person needs to put their personal information and credit card information and their address on an Amazon website and be mercy of an Amazon that they're not going to shut you down, but there's no guarantee. They're known to like shut down all the miners in crypto. Well, and basically dox this DAO person. When you have situations like that, when something is going to go down, I think that's when people will realize the importance of a anonymized permissionless compute layer. So we're already seeing like pioneers like Shapeshift and those guys, looking at Akash seriously to move their entire infrastructure as a move from centralized to decentralized. And Akash works beautifully in a setting like a DAO because Akash supports multi-party computation. That means the keys, Akash being a blockchain, things are controlled by a private key. That private key could be in a multi-sig setting. So you can have a consensus-based mechanism to update the website or application and not reveal any personal identifiable information to anybody, as a matter of fact. So things like these. And we have another amazing use case that I can't really disclose who we're working with, but like I said, cloud computing is very expensive, especially machine learning, right? And machine learning relies on this thing called GPUs, or GPUs are these graphics processing units, and they're ubiquitous. There's a lot of GPUs all around. Your PC has GPUs, but these GPUs are not used most of the time, like gaming PCs and whatnot. Now there are GPUs a lot more in advanced vehicles like electric cars. An electric car is essentially a data center on wheels. I mean, on average, these cars have like 6 to 7 GPUs, very powerful GPUs. So we are working on with the EV maker where we're early discussions. Can't say we're working. We're early discussions to unlock some of the GPU power and make that available to the masses at significantly lower cost than what you would get on Amazon, right? So things like that. Those are like so advanced use cases that we don't normally talk about them because they're not possible today on the cloud. So I think the mainstream adoption is going to be a big catalyst. But from a crypto standpoint, we see DAOs as DAOs or NFTs that are launching that need like a RPC server or a middleware layer. That's not a graph or that's not a live peer is going to be a catalyst for Akash. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when at this point.
Exactly. It does feel exactly like that. It feels like it's going to happen. It feels like we're very, very early in the game. So it's almost like buying Filecoin and are we very, very early? So if you get into this decentralized computing play, then I guess that I think it's very early, and you got to make. It's almost like you got to look around the corner and say, "This is definitely going to come. There's going to be a catalyst, and when the catalyst comes, it's going to happen super fast."
Yes. Yeah. And we are seeing exponential growth right now, but that's not in the crypto area. We are seeing from the mainstream crowd. Yeah.
Listen, keep us updated. If you guys are seeing growth, if you are doing big deals, keep us updated, because we started talking about your token yesterday. As you know, I'm an investor in your token. It is on one of our buy lists over here. So keep us updated. If any news comes out, keep us updated.
Oh, absolutely, will do.
Great. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Ron.
All right, awesome. So that's another token that we've just learned about. Let's give away more money, Freddie. I just want to give away money to this community of us. I love this community so much. Let's do it. Okay, so Deborah Pohl wins herself $100 of Poly Launcher, which is right now. Let's just go back to it and see how much is that $100 actually worth now. Bang bang, 23 cents. That means 9x, so $900. It's close. This could go to 100x. I mean, it could go. I'm not saying it's going to. It could. And then people who won $100 are going to have $10,000. It is subject to I think certain vesting schedules, but you'll get all those in details when you email us, and you're only going to email us if you won, because you have to prove your identity at giveaways@cryptobanter.com. Only if you won. Do not email us if you haven't won. Email us only if you've won. Tingle Tuesday. Okay, Greg, you've got yourself some Terra, $100 of Star Terra at pre-IDO prices. Okay, I've given away too much money on the show. The rest of the money is being given away on Instagram later on today. Go to the Crypto Banter Instagram page. And if you haven't subscribed to Microdose, we're going to look at these winners. If you haven't subscribed on Microdose, you ain't getting the prize. We're just not going to give it to you. I see there's only 23,000 subscribers on Microdose, and it's already 1 day old. Go and subscribe to Microdose. Also, there will be a Microdose later on tonight. Sheldon will be updating the charts. I will see you guys again later on Instagram, giving away Poly Launcher and Star Terra on Instagram today in like an hour. I'm just going to go and I'm going to bombard the Instagram I'm going to go crazy on the Instagram. Just money. I'll see you guys again later or tomorrow. Until then, use the after banter hashtag to discuss the show and anything that you liked about the show. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Trade well, my friends.